What's up, family? Man, it's been 3 days since I've made a video. Like twice a year, I'll go through this thing called fasting, where I'll fast, and man, I'll be off all social media for 3 days. You know what I mean? I'm completely disconnected. Um, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everything. My way of just cleansing, my way of detoxing, my way of just reconnecting with God, and just man, just purging. Stay with me. We're gonna go somewhere today. Um, Man, you guys have been in my thoughts and prayers. Man, I'm good. I ain't been tripping or nothing. You know what I mean? Life has been great for me. Just I've had to purge. I've had to go through some stuff where I just spent some time with God and God alone. You know what I mean? Stay with me. We're gonna go somewhere. um, those of you that follow me for a while, you know that man. I lost my mom when I was 2 years old. I saw my father murder her, stabbed her 49 times. Um, that's been traumatic for me. You know what I mean? Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. I promise you. And a lot of times we don't realize what we go through, how it impacts us. Stay with me. Stay with me. Um, and it's a trip because um, Saturday morning I had a dream, and it wasn't even a dream. It was more like astral travel. It was a beautiful experience. Um, I needed that. I needed that experience, and I sent it to several people, asked them what they thought about it. Um, Man, it was it was mind boggling. It was life altering. Stay with me. So I'm gonna show you guys a picture of my mom, and then I want to talk to you guys about the dream that I had, or the experience that I had Saturday morning. Um, I don't know if you guys can see this picture. This is my there you go. This is my mom and two of my sisters. You know, y'all can disregard them too. You know what I mean? Disregard them. And but this is my beautiful mom. She's black. Both of her parents were black, but for whatever reason, her mom was light skinned, part Native American. My mom came out real light skinned. Um, so that was a picture of my mom. It's another picture of my mom. The only two pictures of my mom that I have. Okay. Again, my mom died. She was 20 years old. Okay. This is the last picture that, the same picture. Um, this last picture that she took, and this was a couple months before she passed away. Um, I'm gonna show you three people that's been in my life that, this is talking about diving deep, diving deep. You know, this young lady that man, I fell in love with back in high school, um, and picture picture of her and I. We reconnected after my wife passed away. Well, first I'm gonna show you a picture of my wife that passed away. You guys hear me talk about Cecilia a lot. Um, Here's a picture of Cecilia, beautiful young lady. Um, Last picture that she took before she passed away in 2015. She'd already had cancer. Um, it was on. That was maybe like 3 months before she passed away. I'm showing you guys these pictures because I want you to see something that I didn't realize. Um, and just stay with me. Again, we're talking about diving deep. And I'm gonna show you a picture of this young lady. I've talked about her in some of my older videos. Um, oh, there we go, over there sitting next to me. Can't really see that picture too good, so I'm gonna show you a different one. Uh, this is a young lady by the name of Fatima. Um, this is a young lady that man in high school. We met as freshmen. That was like one of my first significant crushes, if you will. Man, I was in love with this girl. You know what I mean? Stay with me. I, I'm 53 years old. I still remember what she wore the first day I saw her. She had on some green pants, like green jeans. She had like a yellow shirt on with some flowers on it. Um, she had a white windbreaker and some white Vans. You know what I mean? Again, I'm 53 years old. This was our freshman year in high school together. The first day I saw her, I remember what she had on. You know what I mean? And her and I never really hooked up until a few years after Cecilia passed away. Okay? Stay with me. I'm going to. I'm just laying the foundation. I apologize for it being a long process, but and then here's a picture of the young lady that I was married to this year. Um, we were on our way to go see Mary J. Blige in concert. I don't know if that's a good picture of her or not, but right there. Okay, so I showed you those three young ladies because, again, the picture of my mom. Um, my mom was real light skinned, and for all you people that I have this thing for light skinned women, man, I don't give a damn about color. You know what I mean? Stay with me. I don't give a damn about color. My younger three kids' mom is my color, my complexion. You know what I mean? My oldest two kids' mom, she's caramel. You know, I have a daughter, her mom's white. So I don't give a fuck about your color, your ethnicity, none of that shit. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. I had to throw that out there because I've had different sisters come on talking about, oh, he just like Hispanic women and all this other stupid ass shit. That's your issues. That's your bullshit. You know what I mean? Don't throw that shit on me. You know what I mean? And so I bring this up. I'm talking about dive into because Saturday I had a dream, and in my dream Saturday, me and this young lady, I don't even remember who she was. She obviously wasn't that significant. Um, I don't remember her name. I don't remember anything about her. We were in a my brown Chevy Silverado that I used to have, um, and we were driving, and I was giving her a ride somewhere. And we pulled over to the side, and we were going to have sex, right? And got out, and we just started walking around. And we're in this large city that we neither one of us were familiar with. And I saw this white lady, and I was like, "Oh my God, she's bad." I'm thinking to myself, "Oh my God, she's bad. She got the curves and everything, right?" And so I'm looking at her like, "Man, I can hit that. I know I can." You know what I mean? And something like, leave her alone. Whatever you could do with her, you could do with this young lady right here. Don't go pursue her. So I don't even waste time. Don't even go meet her or anything of that nature. Um, we keep walking, and now it's dark. You know, we've gotten lost in this huge city. We've lost. We are lost. You know what I mean? Completely lost. And so I see this Arabic looking lady, and it's like something about her. I don't know what it was, but there's something about her that I need to follow her. I was like, let me follow her. You know, maybe she could help us get back to a place to where we could get help. So we're following this young lady, and I don't know if she was Arabic, but she had like a brown skin color, and just she looked Arabic. And so we're following her, and we come to this big green mansion, and there's like this black cast iron gate that went around the mansion. She opened up the gate, and she knew we was following her, but she didn't say anything, until we got to the house. She's like, "You guys could come in." We come into the house, go into the house, we go into this one room, and we're standing there, and she walks into the another room, and she's asking me to follow her. And I'm seeing all these little kids. This is all my dream or my experience Saturday, my astral experience. Seeing all these little kids, and they're not really saying anything. And I don't even know if everybody else can see them. You know what I mean? It sounds weird. Stay with me. And so we walk into this room, and she asked me, she's like, "Is that your girlfriend?" And I tell her no. And she's like, "Good, because I want to introduce you to somebody." I was like, okay, well, show me what she looks like. I said, hold up, before you show me what she looked like, man, I want to hook up with you. And she starts smiling, and she looked up at me, and she's like, good, follow me. So we go to a room, and again, as we walk into the room, it's a huge house. We walk into the room, see all these little kids all over the place again, right? And so, but they're not really saying anything. They're just looking up, smiling. And so, walk into the room. There's two beds. And so we get on one bed. Well, before we get on the bed, we're starting taking off our clothes. And man, we're getting ready to get busy. We're messing around and kissing and just connecting and just, stay with me. And we start fooling around, start messing around. We start doing a do. And then we hear this voice. We hear a lot of voices. She jumps up. Fear comes over her. She jumps up. We start getting dressed. She tells me to hide. My body, my physical body goes hide. My spirit stays right there on the bed. She jumps up. She jumps in another bed, right? The other bed. And she's laying there and I'm looking at her and you could see the sadness come over her face. It was like she was shackled. She was somewhere she didn't want to be. She was trapped. That's the express. Just my soul's looking at her, and we got this connection. And the expression, the energy I got from her was that, man, I'm trapped. I don't want to be here, but I'm stuck here. We hear these people, the adults coming in, and this blind guy, elderly blind guy comes, and he's led to the bed. He gets in the bed. He takes off his clothes, and he starts caressing her and touching her. And she rolls her eyes, and she's shaking her head. And I'm sitting there looking at her, and she's broken. Her spirit is broken. Her spirit is crushed. And so then notice all this other noise, this commotion. And I look up and I see all these young adults come and they jump on the bed that I'm on, a group of them. And they're all laughing and joking. And I notice my oldest son, John, he's in this group. And they're just having a good old time. They can't see my spirit. I'm sitting there as though I'm a third person in the movie, right? Just sitting there watching everything, but I'm in a spiritual being, sitting there looking at this young lady and this guy holding her and caressing her and trying to have sex with her, and she's not wanting to be there. Her spirit is broken and crushed, and she's feeling helpless as though she can't do anything. And I'm looking at these young kids, young adults. They're laughing, just throwing it up, having a blast. They don't even see the lady. They don't even see the dude, the older couple, the people in the other bed. They don't see them at all. And I hear all this commotion out in the hallway. And it's a bunch of young people going out in the hallway. And so my spirit goes back into my physical body. And it's like, okay, let me blend in with this group. I go blend in with the group thinking, okay, man, I'm getting up out of here. I'm gone. You know what I mean? Let me just get up out of here. Let me blend in with this group right here and I'm gone. Right. So go hook up with my body. I'm in with this other large group. And they're all in this hallway, massive hallway. And they're just standing around. And there's a bunch of doors. And this other young lady comes up. And there's guys around me, younger than me and everything. But this young lady comes up to me and she grabs my hand, both my hands, and leads me into this room. And when we look in, it's a large room. And there's people, like couples, sitting on the floor, just holding hands and stuff. I'm like, okay, what the heck is this about, right? And so we get on the floor. And so this young lady starts praying for me. And I'm like, oh my God. You know what I mean? I'm thinking this in my head. I'm not into this religious bullshit. You know what I mean? Here we fucking go. You know what I mean? I don't need this shit. I could talk to God anywhere. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. I'm sitting there thinking I could talk to God anywhere. What the fuck is this shit? You know what I mean? And she keeps praying. And she's holding me close to her. and she's like on her knees, and my head is like at her chest, and she's holding me close, and she's crying out, just praying and praying and praying. And the harder she prays, the more powerful her prayer becomes. Stay with me. And so now tears are running down my eyes because of the power of her prayer. Now she's still praying, and it's like intense. She's holding me close, and she's just like not letting go. She just has me just, and now I'm just weeping and sobbing and just moaning and just crying and just, I'm shook. You know what I mean? My body is shaking, and you can hear the moaning and the deep groaning from deep within coming out. And the lady stops praying, and she's just holding me close as I'm just bawling and letting it all go. And it ends. And I'm sharing this because it wasn't until yesterday. Now I'm sitting there and I'm just like, oh, okay, God, I've sent this to a couple of people for their interpretation because I understand that we always don't get we need other people in our lives to give us pieces of the puzzle, if that makes sense. He doesn't always give us the complete picture. And so I sent it to different people that I felt compelled to, and they sent some responses back. And I'm thinking and calling out to God, just like, all right, what is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? Talk to me, talk to me. And this morning I wake up and I could hear God talking to me, talking about, Elijah, you're free. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm free. He said, you've put in the work. You're free now. And I'm not understanding what he's talking about. Because Friday night, my first night of the fast, I'm crying out to God. Friday night, I'm brokenhearted. Friday night, I need a word from God. I didn't care who it came from. I'm God, mama, somebody, come talk to me. Let me know what the fuck is going on. Man, I need a word from you right here, right now. I ain't got time for the bullshit. I ain't got time for the fucking games. Man, I'm in this fast. I need a fucking breakthrough. I need a fucking, I need help. I'm going through it. And I need a word. I need to feel the presence of my mom. I'm 53 years old. My mama passed away when I was 2. And I'm still sitting here crying out, man, I need help. Mama, come talk to me. Saturday morning, I have this dream or this astral experience, not really understanding what it was. This morning, sitting there, I'm laying there, and God has shown me, Elijah, that was your mama hugging you. That was your mama pulling you into that room and putting her arms around you and praying for you. That was your mama connecting with you. Elijah, when you look back over the women that you've had in your life, the 3 women I showed you, Cecilia, Fatima, my last wife, Ingrid, when you look back over those 3 women, Elijah, each of them did something to you. Out of all the women that you've been with, I've been with a lot of women because I had issues. I had to prove that I wasn't gay because I had been molested at the age of 6. And so I started sleeping with girls in the 7th grade just to prove that I wasn't gay. But of all the women that I've been with, only 3 of them touched me. And what I mean by that, 3 of them, they connected with me. 3 of them did something to me to make me feel like, man, I was safe. Three of them touched me in a way that they didn't know to touch me that way. They knew, but nobody told them, if that makes sense. And it wasn't a sexual touch at all. It was a gentle touch of the hand in a certain spot that I felt safe, that I felt like I belonged. It was a certain touch of their hands in a certain spot that made me feel like I was home. And when these three women didn't know each other, didn't grow up around each other, grew up in different parts of the country, but they knew to touch me, to connect with me in a certain way. And I didn't understand at the time. I felt that connection, and I was already sprung. But when I felt that connection, I felt home. I felt like I belonged. There was a bond that we shared. And what God had to show me was, Elijah, you've been longing to get back to your mom. You've been longing from that connection from your mom. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. Elijah, you saw your mama murdered right in front of you. You couldn't do anything as a 2-year-old to stop it, to help her, to protect her, or anything. And this whole journey, you weren't even aware that you were trying to get back to your mom. That's why the three women that touched you have the same complexion. They have the same complexion as your mama. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. This is going to sound kind of weird to some of you. It is what it is. Elijah, subconsciously, and I never saw a picture of my mama. The two pictures that I have of me and my mom are the two pictures I have of my mom. I didn't get those pictures until I was like a junior in high school. I never even saw those pictures until I was a junior in high school. My family didn't want me to know what my mama looked like. I was raised in my dad's family. They didn't even want me to know what my mama looked like. They didn't even want me to see those pictures. We saw those pictures by mistake. But I knew when this young lady touched me, it was a belonging. It was a longing. I never put the similarities together. I never put the fact that, damn, I needed my mama's touch. And that's how each of them touched me. Stay with me. And so as I'm sitting there crying, just shaking and just letting it all go, my mom was just standing there or just kneeling there, just holding me. I never even remember, I don't remember what my mama's touch felt like. I don't remember my mama's voice sounds like. And so as my mama was holding me, I didn't even know it was my mama. It was until afterwards that God had to tell me and show me, Elijah, that was your mama holding you. That was your mama praying for you. That was your mama helping you release all of the pain and the suffering and the baggage that you've been carrying since you were 2 years old. Elijah, tell the people that they got to dive deep. Tell the people that they got to stop playing fucking games. Tell the people that in order to be healed, you got to go to the root cause. And many times we don't even understand what the root cause is. We have no fucking idea. The only way to know is we got to be connected to God. And see, the trick is, I have my own relationship with God. Me and God have a great relationship. Even though me and God have a great relationship, that didn't stop or take away my pain. Even though me and God have a great relationship, that didn't heal my suffering and my baggage. That didn't heal my trauma. Even though me and God are connected. Even though me and God talk all the time. And I'm sharing this because there's a lot of religious folks that think that just because you go to church or just because you go to the mosque or the temple, whatever it is you do, and you pray and you study and you fast and you talk to God all the time, don't mean that your issues have been healed. Don't mean that you've gotten your problems taken care of. We've become great at masking our pain. We've become great at faking the funk and acting like we okay. And God is saying, in order to completely heal, you have to understand the dynamics of your life. You have to understand the big picture and put it all in the right perspective. See, it's easy for me to look at Fatima as an isolated thing because she didn't know my mama. It's easy for me to sit back and look at Cecilia, my wife that passed away, as an isolated situation in my life. It's an isolated experience in my life because she didn't know Fatima. She didn't know Ingrid. She didn't know my mama. It's easy for me to look at Ingrid, my last wife, as an isolated experience. But she didn't know my mama. She didn't know either of the other two women. But it's not until God opens our understanding that we're able to see the big picture. It's not until God opens our eyes that we're able to see and connect the dots. Each of them was leading me back to this experience. These three women, out of all the women that I've been with, these three women, I've gotten to hurt the most. Cecilia didn't hurt me in the aspect of Fatima and Ingrid. Cecilia's death fucked my world up. That fucked my world up. Fatima broke my heart. Not that she did anything intentionally. She had her own stuff that she had to deal with in the process. I got my heart fucked up. You know what I mean? I got my heart broke. I got my heart crushed. And that was like one of the reasons before I left California. One of the main reasons, one of the big reasons when I left California was like, I'm done. Ingrid, man, you guys have heard me talk about that a lot. Man, that fucked me up. That fucked me up. You know what I mean? That fucked me up. But each of them was leading me back to this place with my mama. Why? So that I can be healed. So that I could be healed. So that I could finally let go of the trauma, the baggage of witnessing my mama being murdered and missing her in my life. Each of these three women touched me in a way as though that was my mama. Each of these three women touched me in a way that made me feel safe and at home and like I belonged with them. We had this connection I never had with anyone else. And the problem that so many of us have is that we connect with people and we don't understand the connection. When these young ladies touched me in the way that they touched me, it wasn't sexual at all. It was a connection. And oftentimes we misunderstand that connection and say, man, you're my soulmate. You're my twin flame. Because you connected with me like nobody's ever connected with me. And what God is telling me is like, Elijah, no, you have a soul tie with them. That's not your twin flame. You have a soul tie with them. You have a contract, a major contract with them. So you're on the right track. So you're on the right path. You're going down the right path. It may hurt. It may be uncomfortable as fuck. You may get your heart fucked over, but you're right where you're supposed to be. Why? Because you got to grow and heal through the situation. You got to grow up. And this person is going to help you. This person is my way of showing you. Whether you want to call it synchronicities or whatever, it's my way of showing you. I got you. You're right where you're supposed to be at. You're right where you're supposed to be at. Sometimes your deliverance hurts. Sometimes your breakthrough breaks your heart. Sometimes your deliverance, your freedom comes at a great price. Comes at a painful price. And so God had to show me, it was like, Elijah, you had to go through the brokenness. You had to go through the hell that you did. Not because you're a bad person. Freedom comes at a price. Deliverance comes at a price. Breakthrough comes at a price. Most people ain't willing to pay the price. They want to be comfortable. They want life to be easy for them. But like the phoenix, you got to die to your past. You got to go through the fire. You got to be born again. Born again does not mean I come back as a baby. Born again means, man, okay, I grew through that phase. I'm no longer there emotionally. I'm no longer there spiritually. I blossomed into something else. I love plants. I love gardening. When you look at seed, all these plants come from seeds. The seed, in order for it to become this plant, it has to die. The seed, in order for it to become this plant, it has to be buried in the dirt. It has to crack open. And then the roots begin to grow. And then it has to break through the dirt. That's how we are. That's exactly how we are. We have to grow up. And it's a painful process. It's an uncomfortable process. And so many times we think that man, because we're a certain age or it should be faster than this. Man, don't shortcut the process. And that's where many of us mess up at. We want the shortcut. We want the fast version. We want the microwave dinner. We have to grow up. There are no shortcuts in life that's going to help you reach your full potential. There are no shortcuts in life that's going to help you be all that you came here to be. There are no shortcuts in life that's going to help you heal and grow. You got to go through the process. And it's a painful process. It's a lonely process. It's a frustrating process. It's a breaking process. But you got to be willing to stick it out. You have to be willing to go through it no matter what comes your way. And sometimes we have people that come into our lives, like the white lady in the dream, that are distractions. And I'm not saying white people are distractions. Don't get it twisted. There's certain women, black women, that are trying to be a part of my life now, that are a distraction. Bodies are bad. The sex, great. But they're a distraction. That's not what I need. That's really not what I want. Not with them. But we get distracted. We get distracted. Don't get distracted. Don't think that, oh, because this is familiar or this is comfortable, that, okay, man, I could just hook up with this person right here and we could just do whoop, 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 and da, 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 and life is great. Because that may not be where you're supposed to be at. She may look bad, he may look bad. They may have a great job, blah, 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 but they may just be a distraction to keep you from reaching your full potential, to keep you from going through the process, your process. Man, I hope and pray that I said something to encourage you, to challenge you. I love you guys. Happy healing. Peace.